Imagine 1 minute you're admiring a priceless artifact at a museum, and the next, it's gone. Picture this: a bustling museum stuffed to the rafters with curious visitors, each one drawn in by the allure of history's treasures. Among these treasures, there's one that stands out: a priceless artifact. This artifact isn't just a relic, it's a window into a bygone era, a tangible piece of history that tells tales of civilizations past. But then, in the blink of an eye, it's gone. Vanished. Disappeared. Now, you might be wondering, what do I mean by artifact? An artifact is an object that's made by a human being, typically an item of historical or cultural interest. It could be a sculpture, a painting, a piece of jewelry, or even a document. And in our story, it's the star that's suddenly missing from the stage. The term museum is probably familiar to most of you. A museum is a building where objects of historical, scientific, artistic, or cultural interest are stored and exhibited. It's like a time capsule, a place that allows us to travel back in time and explore different periods and cultures. And what about this disappearance? A disappearance is when something or someone can no longer be seen or found. In our tale, it's the unsettling event that sets our mystery into motion. Finally, let's talk about secure. When we say something is secure, we mean it's safe and protected. It's not easy to access or steal. A museum, especially one that houses priceless artifacts, is supposed to be secure. So how could something disappear from such a place? So who could have possibly taken the artifact, and how did they manage it? Let's unravel this mystery together. When something goes missing, what's the first thing you do? You start an investigation. Now, what does that mean, to start an investigation? Well, it's a systematic, detailed examination or study of a situation or a set of circumstances. It's like piecing together a puzzle. But instead of a picture, you're forming a narrative of events. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how an investigation works. It involves several steps and a variety of methods. One such method is dusting for fingerprints. Now, don't let that phrase confuse you. It's not about cleaning or anything of the sort. Instead, it's a technique used to find and identify fingerprints left at a crime scene. Fingerprints are unique to each person, so finding a match can lead you directly to the culprit. Another part of an investigation is interrogating suspects. Interrogation might sound like a big, intimidating word, but it's just a formal term for asking questions. In this context, suspects are the people believed to have a possible connection to the crime. Investigators ask them questions to gather information, understand their involvement, and sometimes catch them in a lie. Then, there's examining CCTV footage. CCTV stands for closed circuit television. It's a system where video cameras record footage for security purposes. Examining this footage means investigators watch these videos frame by frame, often in hopes of catching a glimpse of the crime as it happened. But remember, an investigation isn't just about finding the obvious clues. It's about connecting the dots, understanding the context, and piecing together the story that the evidence tells. You might think that with all these tools and techniques, catching the thief would be a piece of cake. With all this evidence, we're sure to catch the thief, right? Well, it's not always that simple. Just when we thought we were getting close, a new piece of evidence throws us off track. The allure of detective work lies in its unpredictability. 1 minute, you're hot on the trail. The next, you're back to square one. This is exactly what's happening in our investigation today. A new piece of evidence has emerged that threatens to shatter our previous assumptions. This evidence is what we call a red herring in detective lingo. It's a misleading clue that diverts investigators from the true path. So imagine you're following a trail of breadcrumbs leading to your suspect, only to find out that the breadcrumbs were scattered by someone else entirely. That's a red herring for you, but it doesn't stop there. While we're grappling with this red herring, we also have to consider the alibi of our prime suspect. An alibi is the claim or proof that someone was somewhere else when the crime happened. It's a kind of get-out-of-jail-free card, if you will. If the suspect can provide an ironclad alibi, they can effectively remove themselves from the list of suspects. Now, let's throw another term into the mix: motive. This is the reason why someone might commit a crime. It's the driving force behind their actions. For instance, one might commit a crime out of jealousy, for financial gain, or as an act of revenge. Understanding the motive can help detectives narrow down the list of suspects and get one step closer to solving the case. However, as is often the case in investigations, the motive, the alibi, and the red herring are all intertwined, creating a complicated web of intrigue and deception. Each piece of evidence leads to more questions than answers, and each suspect seems more elusive than the last. Deciphering this web, connecting the dots, and uncovering the truth is what makes detective work so enticing. It's a mental chess game, where every move must be calculated and every piece of evidence scrutinized. This mystery is turning out to be more complicated than we thought, but rest assured, no stone will be left unturned in our quest for the truth. The game is afoot, and the stakes have never been higher. In every mystery, there's always that unexpected turn of events, and ours is no different. As our detective delves deeper into the shadows of the case, an unforeseen revelation surfaces. The culprit, the mastermind behind the unsettling disappearance, is none other than the person least suspected, the one who was thought to be beyond suspicion, the ever-so-charming butler. This revelation unveils a popular phrase in the detective world, caught red-handed. This phrase originates from an Old English law that stated a person must be caught with the evidence of the crime still on them. In this case, our butler was caught red-handed, with the missing diamond necklace hidden in his quarters. However, as we navigate through the twists and turns of the mystery, it's essential to remember another key phrase: innocent until proven guilty. This phrase underscores the fundamental principle of law and justice, that a person is considered innocent unless and until it is proven that they committed the crime. So, while our butler is the prime suspect, it is crucial to gather solid evidence to prove his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You might wonder, what does it mean to prove something beyond a reasonable doubt? A cornerstone of the justice system, this phrase means that the evidence presented must be so compelling and convincing that there is no reasonable doubt left in the minds of the jury that the accused is guilty. It suggests that the proof is so strong that no rational person would question the guilt of the accused. So, there we have it. Our unexpected culprit, the charming butler, is caught red-handed with the diamond necklace. But remember, he is innocent until proven guilty. The detective must now gather evidence strong enough to prove his guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. So, there you have it. The mystery is solved. Or is it? The plot thickens as we move towards the climax of our story. Stay tuned for the final revelation and the conclusion of our thrilling detective investigation. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to recap what we've learned. We embarked on an intriguing journey of a mysterious disappearance, leading us down a path of suspense and uncertainty. We breathed life into the world of detective investigation, and along the way, we picked up some complex vocabulary, grammar rules, and even a bit of slang. Our mystery began with an unsettling disappearance that set the stage for our investigation. We learned words like alibi, forensics, and interrogate, and phrases such as follow the trail and piece together the puzzle. We also delved into some grammar intricacies, like the use of past perfect tense to describe actions completed before something else in the past. As the plot thickened, we were introduced to more terms: culprit, motive, and red herring. We also learned how to use modal verbs to express possibility and probability, while incorporating slang terms like a wild goose chase and hit a dead end. The unexpected revelation of the culprit was a twist in our tale. We learned to use narrative tenses to tell stories and the difference between suspect and convict. We also encountered colloquial phrases like throw someone under the bus and caught red-handed. And finally, we arrived at the solution. The mystery unraveled, teaching us how to use deductive reasoning in English. We learned more words like indict, acquit, and exonerate, and phrases such as the jig is up and smoking gun. And with that, we've solved our mystery and learned some new English phrases along the way. Remember, every mystery is just another opportunity for learning. Until next time, keep your eyes open and your mind sharp.